It is a teamwork.
It is the
Yeah,
teamwork.
not a solo goal.
Right.
So I believe in the saying, like, if you want to go alone, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with the team.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. Hello, and welcome to Sitare Spotlight, your go-to podcast for diving deep into the lives, stories, and journeys of some of the most inspiring personalities around us from the South Asian diaspora. I'm your host, Saumya Balasubramanian. I'm going to be chatting with leaders, artists, and cultural icons in every episode. Their lives inspire us, their journeys give us hope. Let's find out more about them. This is Sitare Spotlight, brought to you by India Currents. Let's get started. Our guest for today is Salima Banu Iezzey. Salima is a fitness specialist with a degree in nutrition who encourages a holistic well-being journey. She's also a coach and versatile adventurer. She helps and nurtures fitness through community activities such as trekking, backpacking, skiing, dancing, and cycling. Salima fluently speaks 5 languages. Her early years in the remote and mystical cities of Lhasa, Tibet, Kathmandu-Nepal, New Delhi, India, and other Southeast Asian cities helped shape her unique perspective. And she currently lives in Seattle, Washington, USA. Salima is a Hall of Fame cyclist with over 7,206 plus miles STP rides and was also the Trainer of the Year. Salima was recognized for her work in global fitness when she received the prestigious Priyadarshini Award for Women and Entrepreneurs of Nepal in 1997 for her fitness center in Kathmandu. Salima is certified in personal training, group fitness, yoga, meditation, Zumba, and Les Mills. So if any of you have aspirations of the Everest Base Camp or scaling Mount Bakers or scaling the mountains, internal mountains, Salima is your person. She helps individuals and small groups with their goals privately online. Salima, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you today.
Saumya, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for giving me this platform to actually reach out people globally. I have been in the fitness industry for 30 plus years, teaching people who come in contact with me in person, in group classes, hundreds and thousands of people, but I had never had the opportunity to reach out globally, and you gave me this platform, so thank you very much.
You speak 5 languages and you hail from a cold mountainous region. You have exposure to so many cultures and religion. So tell us a little bit about your early influences in life and why you sought a career path in fitness. It must have been a pretty different choice from your peers, isn't it?
Definitely different and very challenging. So I grew up in Tibet in my early childhood, where my family lived, and during my school and college years, I traveled back to Nepal, Kathmandu, Nepal, where I did my schooling and my college. During that time period, also I did extensive travel in India to New Delhi, Rajasthan, all these different places, and I'm also having a business. Coming back from a business background, I'm expected to automatically take over my family business. So, which is what is understood in my family, But then, while I was helping run my family business, I knew something was not right, and I wanted something different for myself, which is my own, and that could create an impact for the world. But I didn't know what it was, you see, and I was still waiting for that calling, it seems. So as a kid, I was very different as a young girl, right? As a young kid. And I would always go out with my sister. The two of us were always playing outdoors with boys, young little kids, in second, third graders, and just skating with them, cycling with them. During that time period, it was very unusual for young girls to be doing something like this. And even though my father was okay with it, the neighbors would complain. And I remember my father coming out and chasing me to get back into the house because the neighbors were complaining that your daughter is playing out with the boys, So that's how I grew up. Like my opportunity to persevere my dream came true one day while I was in college. I was walking with my sister, Zenith. We went for a walk in the morning and we came across a gym, and I saw a woman teaching a group class with music and everything on, and I was so excited. I was telling my sister, I said, can we just go and have a look? And then after looking, I said, oh, I love this. I'd love to do something like this. Can you just let me join this group class? And she was very reluctant, but with much like perseverance, she agreed and she gave in. And so I joined the class. And I found out later that the class was taught by a Canadian expat. She was there for 5 to 6 months. And before she left, she asked me to take over the class. And she said, Salima, you can do this. I know you are capable. I'm going to teach you and groom you before I leave for a month. And then you can take over the class. I was super excited. This was my calling, my dream come true. But then, of course, I had a lot of, kind of like my family coming from a traditional background, they would not accept that. It's like they cannot imagine me wearing leotards and teaching in front of, a group of people. But I believed in myself. I said, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm actually teaching, helping to people become healthy. And this is not morally wrong. So you have to believe in what you're doing. That's what I believe. And that you're not doing anything wrong. And despite of all the cultural backlash, I persevered. And despite my family's reluctance, I continued, I started teaching the class. From then on, my fitness journey started.
Wonderful. So you moved to the US in early 2000 and you continued your fitness journey here?
Yes. In 2000, I moved with my family, my daughter Sophia and my husband Neil. We moved to Miami and then we moved to Seattle in 2003. And at the same time, I wanted to persevere a degree in nutrition. So I attended Bastyr University and got a degree in nutrition.
So that's your holistic, that brings us beautifully to, we'll talk about your nutrition journey in the second part of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So thus far, like, you've shown us like you're really passionate and you help people with their daily fitness regimens such as yoga, meditation, dancing, etc. Now, we live in a society where not everyone grew up embracing a fitness mindset, right? So what would you recommend as good practices, things that people can fit into their busy lives, because life happens, people have responsibilities, they have to earn a living. And many times, the fitness itself as a goal can become such an intimidating thing. But how to sort of fit all of this into a busy life and have a fulfilling fitness journey?
So I personally educate my clients to make you as number one, your well-being as number one. You have to be fit physically, mentally, emotionally, to be the best person you can be, to give back to your family, your loved ones, and at your work. So taking care of you, I tell them, is integral. It's number one. And make sure that you take 30 to 60 minutes, if it's possible, 30 minutes, depending on your time, every day in your life, as part of your well-being care of doing some kind of physical activity. That's going to make you build up, becoming a strong person. And give your best to your loved ones and to your work and your life. So what I believe is when you are fit 100%, your work efficiency increases. And I also teach them how do we do that, right? Yeah. So very simple, depending on what is your preference. Do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to learn to swim? Whatever your activity that you're interested in, whatever that may be. So I encourage that activity should relate with heart fitness, where you are exercising at least 2 to 3 days a week to work your heart rate, to increase your heart rate, at least within your training zone. A training zone means you can exercise or walk and you can feel the stress, but you're still able to talk. It's a talk test. So that is called be a little bit uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable to build your fitness, at least to be in that training zone for 20 minutes. You carve that 30 minutes of your time and then gradually build it up to 60 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week to build your heart fitness. And at the same time, I encourage you to build your muscle strength, to do weight training. 2 to 3 times a week to put in that 30 to 60 minutes of weight training. Why? Is because you want to increase your bone density, build muscle strength, muscle mass that will help you to reduce your internal body fat and help you to not get sick from obesity and all kinds of metabolic diseases, and also help you to reduce stress and become strong and fit. So third level is make time to meditate, do some pranayama or just breathing exercise in your regular life every day if possible, 5 minutes, 10 minutes as part of your workout routine, or anytime when you have time in between your work. So you have to create a habit of well-being fitness journey as part of your lifestyle. There is no other way. Don't try to say, I'm going to fit in 5 minutes here and there. A lot of times the work would take over, somebody else would take over, and you become the last on the list, and that never happens. So I believe in preventative care better than cure.
Prioritize heart fitness. Make sure that you are giving your heart enough exercise, with through the walk test, right? Like you're giving it enough exercise, but also making sure that you can talk while you're walking. Weight training for building bone density and muscle mass. And the third you mentioned was meditation.
Yes. Can I add one more is for beginners, somebody who has never been in a gym, that can be very intimidating. So I tell them to invest money for your health upfront. Find a specialist, see a coach, see a nutritionist, anything that's going to help you to enhance your fitness. Invest that money upfront, because when you live a healthy lifestyle, you'll save tons of money enjoying your life, not getting sick.
So, sounds good. So Salima, this is a wonderful answer when it comes to practices that we can build on a routine basis into our daily life. But you also help people with longer term goals, isn't it? Such as trekking, mountaineering, etc. And many people have different goals based on their time in life, based on their fitness levels and so on. So what is your strategy when it comes to adventuring and guiding people through these goals?
So these are bigger goals, and it really takes a lot of your time. So you have to be committed, and you have to have that investment of your time to achieve those big goals. And definitely those big goals, if you have never done it before, you would definitely need help. A guide who does outdoor activities, who are expert in the field. To help you get strong and fit, you need a fitness coach. To help you monitor your food intake, nutrition, you might need help from a nutritionist. Now, besides all that, you may be good at one, you may not be good at the others. You might, be ready to invest money to get that, to succeed in your goal, right? Now, besides all that, if you do not connect with your loved ones as part of your team, because they are your biggest cheerleaders, so you have to have the backup of your family members and your friends who will be your biggest cheerleaders to help you, to motivate you, to guide you to reach your goal. But at the same time, make sure your family is on board with your dreams, and they are there to support you and guide you and help you to achieve your goal. It is a teamwork.
It is the teamwork.
Not a solo goal.
Right.
So I believe in the saying, like, if you want to go alone, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with the team.
Oh, that's wonderful. Right. So, Salima, in your answers thus far, there was one, you multiple times you spoke about having good nutrition and looking after yourself and so on. And you do have a background in nutrition science, right? So now in a world where, research is constantly changing, new fads, new diets, everything come and go out. There was Atkins, then there's low carb, there's intermittent fasting, a lot of these things that keep coming to us from the research community. And a lot of these things can be contradictory sometimes. Some of those things can be a lot of information to take in. But what are some of the things that you would suggest a healthy person should just ensure that they eat in their daily plate?
Yes. So I truly believe that we all have our personal needs and requirements, and we fit into certain types of food that we prefer, and it's easy for us to follow. So depending on our background, right? Where we grew up, what type of food, what we eat. But very simple. I always stay with simple, not to go into all these bad diets that go in and out, and it works temporarily, but long term it doesn't. And for some people it's excellent, so I have nothing against it. But I follow a very simple traditional technique: is just look at your plate, what you're eating, and make sure that 50% of that plate is made up of colors. I call these are the rainbow colors. And the remaining 50 can be protein, whole grains, and legumes. And it's very, very simple to follow, and which makes up a complete meal from a holistic point. And for our Asian background, like Southeast, a lot of us are used to, not everybody, like, some countries eat differently. Where I grew up also, like in Nepal and definitely in India, a lot of the vegetables are overcooked. But we want to add, not overcook, because when you overcook colors, that you kill the vitamins.
I see.
So we're not getting the vitamins. Vitamins cannot take more than 1 to 2 minutes of heat. It has to be almost raw, and it has to have the colors there to get the vitamins and nutrients from the colors. So we can have a salad on the side, and then lots of colors salads on the side, and add it to our cooked meal. So if you're having leaves, for example, if you're having lentils, I would have spinach and leafy vegetables fresh on the side. When the lentils come in, I would add it on top just before I eat. So the lentils get gently cooked, but it is never overcooked, that you lose its nutrients. Those are little tricks that we can do to add, to keep the nutrient dense from the food and not kill it.
Perfect. So I like the answer that you said. You started off with like 50 to 55% of your plate in colors.
Yes.
And the remaining with proteins, legumes, and finishing off with like not overcooking your vegetables and your greens.
So
right?
can I add a couple more things?
Yes.
So here's the holistic well-being comes in, is when you sit down to eat, you have to have a holistic mindset, calm mind. Take at least 20 minutes to sit down and eat a meal. So that means you're going to step away from your desk and focus on your meal. It takes about 20 minutes for the brain to tell your stomach that it is full. So if you eat slowly and mindfully, you will never overeat. So that will help us not to overeat and gain weight. Enhances. So that well-being practice of eating mindfully is very, very important.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
That the way you spoke about eating mindfully, actually, that takes me neatly into the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, right? Which is the mental health related side of our journeys. Now, you work with human beings from all walks and situations in life, and looking after ourselves physically is just as important as looking after ourselves mentally, as you know, right? Now, but are there things that you recommend as regular or even daily practices to keep tabs on our mental state? Because it's always something that is coming at us. So when to seek help, when to tough it out, what are the things that we can do on a regular basis to keep ourselves in a happy, productive place?
So, so what I believe is a lot of mental manifestation is, that's my belief, it's coming out from having a lot of stress in your life. So it could be financial stress, it could be work stress, it could be anger, frustration, guilt. And so in order to, if you're carrying this over your shoulder all day long, it weighs you down. So that manifests into mental ill health, right? So I believe our focus should be on how do we reduce that stress, by first try to reduce it in our daily life. So to manage it on a daily basis, and on weekends, make more time to reduce that stress so that it does not manifest into mental, ill health. So first is let's go into very jotting out a few points I'll focus on would be like financial stress, right? So focus on very simple, I will say a very simple thing is to try to live within, if possible, below your means. So that will reduce your financial stress. You will have extra money in your bank and you don't have to worry. Live at or below your means, right? And work stress. Now, if we will have work stress coming all the time, and that is part of a daily routine. So when you have a work stress and you're going to have a mental block, instead of pushing through, I would just walk away from the desk, do some exercise, or do something that's going to calm your mind down. So even if go for 2-3 minutes, listen to music, whatever that helps you to calm down. And then when your mind is calm, I call it like when you're in high stress, the brain turns into reptilian brain, like very small brain, and it's not thinking. So you want to let the brain to rest and recover. So when you come back after a break, now the brain has calmed down and it can see clarity, and you may be able to, solve your work problem, whatever that may be. Now, if that doesn't happen at that particular time, just learn to walk it away for the day, have a good night's sleep, take care of you, come back the next day to resolve it. And most of the time, you're in a better mental state to take care of it. So in the meantime, you're taking care of yourself to reduce the stress. I told you, like, go for exercise, go for a walk, listen to music, read a book, those are very important. They help you to bring your stress level down, right? And then resolve any personal grudges. Level 3 is personal grudges. If you have any grudges, anger, frustration, try to resolve it at a calm mind, right? If you cannot, then seek help. Get a professional psychologist or therapist, seek help, because those are the things that's going to help you to bring your emotional stress down. And some things that we cannot manage, we need to seek professional help. And so that way, when those kind of stresses goes away, then you're living a joyful life, right? And another practice, very simple, that doesn't cost you anything, is do pranayama. So breathing techniques, deep breathing, 2 to 3 minutes in between your work, breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 6, Now, as you go into deep breathing, and your mind calms down and slows down, and your stress level comes down. So that pranayama can be practiced anytime at work, for 1 to 2 minutes, and you can do that. So learn how to do it, and it's very simple, and that will help you to reduce the stress. Now, on weekends, I tell them that is managing stress during weekdays, but on weekends, now you're going to spend more time And I would encourage everybody to find a nature spot, whether it's in a park, on a lake, up in the mountains, wherever their nature is, because I truly believe nature actually heals. There are so many things in nature, from the birds to the plants, that they're natural growing herbs. When we breathe into those natural herbs, we are actually, it's helping us to reduce our stress. So do your activities in nature, and you will actually learn to reduce the stress almost completely. Last one I'll tell you is participate in volunteering. So if you volunteer without expecting anything in return, that gives you a tremendous joy that actually enhances your mental well-being and calms your mind down and helps you be a better human being. So those are the well-being journey you can practice to have a better mental state in our everyday life.
Perfect. So on a daily basis during the weekday, 3 aspects, just recapping, right? 3
Yes.
aspects: financial stress, live at or below your means. That takes out a lot of your financial stress. Work stress, learn how to deal with it by stepping away, dealing with things, learning how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then emotional stress, learn how to work through your grudges, or if required, actually seek the help of professionals so that you're taking care of it on a regular basis. And then on the weekends, the way you spoke about stepping out into nature on weekends, it reminded me the Japanese have a term for it, right? They call it Shinrin Yoku. They call it the forest bathing. So so you go there, and it actually helps you reduce your stress levels and sort of set you up for the week ahead, right? So when you were speaking of that, that's what I was thinking of. And then volunteering, that was a wonderful answer, because giving always does make you feel better about yourself, about the society we're in. So for a really illuminating episode of Sitare Spotlight. It was wonderful talking to you, Salima. Thank you so much for joining us today and for being part of these conversations. I hope our listeners enjoyed listening about Salima's incredible journey and her fitness perspectives as much as I did. If you loved today's episode, please be sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review. You can follow India Currents on social media. And as Salima said, remember, we each are unique. Every story matters, and every voice has the power to inspire. Thank you so much, Salima, for joining us today.
Saumya, for giving me this platform to share my well-being fitness journey.